7 months ago, I released a video called Spider-Man vs. Batman's Villains. It would go on to be my most viewed video on this channel. Currently, it sits around 12,000 views. I was going to do this very video right after it. However, things kept coming up. Eventually, I got burned out on YouTube altogether, and then I needed to take a break. But now, I'm refreshed, and I'm ready to come back to finish what I started. But first, before we get into the whole Batman vs. Spider-Man's villains part of the video, I would like to do a correction segment. Basically parts where I got stuff wrong, as well as to provide some counterpoints to what people said in the comments and why I still don't agree with them. First things first, Spider-Man is much stronger than Bane. He wouldn't even need to cut off the Venom supply. And since it's been shown multiple times that Bane is stronger than Killer Croc, that also means that Spider-Man is stronger than Killer Croc, so he's going to have an easy time with them. In hindsight, I should have talked about Clayface instead of Killer Croc. He would actually be a challenge. But I think Spider-Man would face him a similar way he beat Sandman. He could pour some in on him to freeze him, or some other version of freezing him. Some people in the comments were talking about how Scarecrow's fear toxin is different from Mysterio's illusions, which, yeah, I didn't really think that point through, admittedly, and how the spider sense might actually be the worst part of the fear toxin. That might also be true. However, I think Spider-Man is still both creative enough to work around it, or can willpower it away. My evidence for Spider-Man being able to willpower his way through the fear toxin is simply that Batman was able to do it in both Batman the Animated Series and Arkham Asylum. He pretty much just noped the fear toxin away. Some people tried to counter my point about Joker not taking Spider-Man seriously because he's not Batman by bringing up Injustice. In this story, Joker gets bored with Batman, so he decides to mess with Superman. He kills Lois Lane, causes Superman to go insane, kill the Joker, and then he becomes a dictator. But here's the thing. Injustice is an Elseworld story. This is basically a what-if. Joker in the main canon would not get bored with Batman. The whole point of Injustice is that every character, except for maybe Batman, is written out of character. But you know, there's also another important factor in the Spider-Man vs. Joker battle that I wish I had brought up, and that factor is Batman Beyond. In this show, Bruce retires from being Batman, and a new guy, Terry McGinnis, takes up the mantle. This guy is different from Bruce in that he acts more like Spider-Man in making fun of his villains. And when Joker comes back in a movie, he decides to use this strategy against the Joker, and Joker can't handle it. This is shown to be Joker's weakness. He can make fun of other people, but he can't be the joke himself. So, given that Spider-Man also loves to joke around with his villains, I think it'll go down similarly as it did in the Return of the Joker movie. Alright, now that that's out of the way, let's put Batman against Spider-Man's villains. Alright, first up is the Green Goblin. He flies around on a glider, and he has really destructive pumpkin bombs. Now, there are two ways I could see Batman catching up to Goblin. The first is to grapple onto the glider, and the second is to use his jetpack. In a fist-to-fist fight, Goblin has the advantage in strength, but I think Batman's martial arts skills should be enough to beat him. Next up is Dr. Octopus. Now, the way Batman's going to beat this guy is he's going to wrap around his metal arms, either by using his grappling hook or some wires he placed ahead of time. Either way, he wraps the arms, and then he knocks out Doc Ock. Next up are my two favorite Spider-Man villains, Venom and Carnage. Now, this would be a challenge for Batman. I mean, they're super strong. Carnage is basically like the Joker. It seems like he's at a disadvantage. However, both the symbiotes have one weakness, loud noise. So Batman has to just bang a metal pipe or have something in his utility belt that makes loud sounds, and the symbiotes are off. Next up is the Rhino, and oh boy, is this guy going to be tough. This guy is really, really, really strong. Batman, as he is, stands no chance against this guy in a fist-to-fist fight, which is why Batman needs to look for alternatives. There are two ways I can see Batman beating the Rhino. One, he could put on the armor he used to fight Superman. That should give him plenty of strength and durability, at least for a little bit. Two, He could do what Spider-Man did in Spectacular Spider-Man and simply dehydrate the Rhino. He dehydrates a lot faster than normal humans. Next up is Mysterio, and in my opinion, this is the most interesting matchup. Mysterio, like I said in the last video, creates illusions. However, unlike Scarecrow, who uses a fear toxin, Mysterio uses various special effects. He uses stuff like holograms, robots, and so on. Batman's going to need his deductive skills at an all-time high in order to figure out what stuff can hurt him and what can't. However, I think Batman's deductive skills will be enough in order to catch Mysterio. Why do I say that? Well, I think I'll let the man himself answer that question for me.
Because I'm Batman!
Next up is Sandman. Now this one might be the easiest Spider-Man villain for Batman to take down. Batman has a gadget that freezes stuff. He used this against Clayface, so I think it will work with Sandman as well. Next up is the Lizard, a scientist who drank a serum that caused him to mutate into a lizard. Now this type of thing is nothing new to Batman, as this is similar to one of his own villains, Man-Bat. All Batman would need to do is place the lizard into a trap, give him the serum to make him human again, and then he's done. The final villain we'll be talking about is Electro. He has the ability to absorb and shoot out electricity. The way I see Batman beating this guy is either getting him to run out of electricity or building a suit specifically made to fight him. Well, we've done it. We've put Spider-Man against Batman's villains, and we've put Batman against Spider-Man's villains. Now it's time to answer the question, who do I think will have the harder time? Well, I'm going to have to say Batman. And I think it comes down to how both these characters take down their villains. Spider-Man fights his villains in the moment. He comes up with his strategies in the moment. He also has super strength, super agility, and the spider sense to help him out. Batman, however, has no powers, so he comes up with plans and strategies ahead of time in order to beat people. There are exceptions, of course. Spider-Man has come up with plans, and Batman has made plans in the moment, but this is generally how they fight. But either way, both of these characters are still great, and both of their rogues galleries are legendary. Alright, see you guys later. Bye.